Imagine a world on the edge of transformation, where nations are no longer defined by their borders but by the power of the machines they build, the missiles they control, and the technologies they unleash. The United States and Russia, two giants of history, are locked in a silent competition that stretches across oceans and continents. It is not just about weapons. It is about who controls the future of global power. This story is not distant. It affects every household in America, every city in Europe, and every life touched by the fragile balance of peace and war. Today, we uncover the reality behind the parades, the missiles, and the strategies shaping tomorrow's world order. The United States stands tall as the wealthiest and most technologically advanced military force on Earth. With a defense budget surpassing $800 billion, the Pentagon commands fleets of aircraft carriers, stealth bombers, and missile defense systems that reach from Alaska to Poland. Across the Atlantic, NATO allies rely on American power to deter any threat, while the world watches how Washington manages its role as the defender of the West. For the ordinary American, the military is both a shield and a symbol of national pride, but it comes at a cost that stretches into every tax dollar and every global decision. Russia, on the other hand, carries the legacy of the Soviet Union, a legacy of resilience, defiance, and survival in the harshest of conditions. Its armies have marched through snow and fire, from the streets of Stalingrad to the modern conflicts that echo through Eastern Europe. Moscow spends far less than Washington, yet it maintains a reputation for innovation in missile technology, nuclear deterrence, and the ability to adapt to asymmetric warfare. For Russians, military power is not just about pride. It is about existence. A belief that without strength, survival itself is impossible. The contrast is clear. America invests in global presence. Russia focuses on strategic shock. When the Pentagon designs stealth bombers like the B-21 Raider, Russia counters with hypersonic missiles like the Avangard, capable of maneuvering through the sky at 27 times the speed of sound. When the United States builds a missile shield over Europe, Russia responds with the S-500, designed to strike targets in space. This rivalry is not a relic of the Cold War. It is alive, evolving, and accelerating. For Europe, caught between these two giants, the tension is both familiar and unsettling. Memories of wars that scarred the continent linger in cities like Berlin, Warsaw, and London. NATO promises collective defense, yet Europeans question how far American protection will go if the stakes rise. Leaders in Brussels weigh their choices carefully. Should Europe invest in its own defense or continue to depend on American power? Each decision carries consequences, not just for governments but for every citizen who values peace, stability, and freedom. Beyond the parades and the political speeches lies the heart of this rivalry: missiles. The most powerful weapons ever built by human hands. Intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of destroying entire cities in minutes. Submarine-launched warheads hiding beneath the oceans, ready to strike from the depths. Mobile launchers rolling across frozen landscapes, carrying with them the weight of ultimate destruction. The United States holds over 5,000 nuclear warheads. Russia holds a similar number. Together, they possess enough power to destroy the Earth many times over. This is the terrifying balance known as mutually assured destruction, a doctrine that prevents war yet keeps humanity standing on the edge of annihilation. But technology does not stand still. Hypersonic weapons are changing the rules. Unlike traditional missiles that follow predictable paths, hypersonic glide vehicles twist and turn through the atmosphere, making them nearly impossible to intercept. Russia claims to lead this field with the Avangard and Kinzhal systems. The United States is racing to catch up with its own projects, investing billions into research and development. Whoever dominates hypersonic technology may hold the key to breaking the balance of deterrence, shifting power in ways the world has not seen since the dawn of the nuclear age. Beyond missiles lies the future of artificial intelligence in warfare. The Pentagon envisions a battlefield where drones fly in swarms, coordinating without human pilots. Tanks and armored vehicles may soon be guided by algorithms, not soldiers. Cyber warfare already proves how a keystroke can paralyze power grids, shut down airports, or disrupt banking systems. Russia has demonstrated its capability in cyber operations, targeting infrastructures across Europe and America. The United States responds with its own cyber command, preparing to strike back in ways that remain classified and hidden. This invisible battlefield is already active, and the stakes are as high as any nuclear standoff. For ordinary citizens, these technologies feel distant, but their impact is closer than many realize. The price of oil, the safety of borders, the stability of currencies, and even the reliability of internet connections are tied to the silent competition between Washington and Moscow. When armies march with missiles in grand parades, they are not just showing strength to their own people. They are sending messages to the world, to governments in Paris, Berlin, London, and Washington. Messages that shape the decisions of leaders and the future of international relations. The United States holds a unique advantage in naval power. With 11 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, it projects influence across the globe. Russia, by contrast, operates only a single carrier, yet focuses on missile systems that threaten American ships. The strategy is clear. America dominates through presence. Russia challenges through denial. This cat-and-mouse game plays out in the Arctic, the Black Sea, and the Pacific, with each side watching the other through satellites and submarines. The oceans are no longer just trade routes. They are arenas of silent confrontation. In the skies, America holds another advantage. The F-35 Lightning II, the world's most advanced stealth fighter, is deployed across NATO countries. Russia counters with the Su-57, a jet that boasts stealth and agility but is produced in smaller numbers. Yet Russia invests heavily in missile defense, betting that shooting down enemy planes is more cost-effective than matching them one for one. Europe, meanwhile, looks at these developments and asks, where do we stand? Some nations invest in the Eurofighter and the upcoming Future Combat Air System, hoping to ensure that Europe remains relevant in the skies of tomorrow. The story of USA versus Russia is not just about technology. It is about human willpower. Soldiers train in deserts, mountains, and icy plains, preparing for wars that may never come. Families watch their sons and daughters march in parades, proud yet fearful of what conflict could bring. Leaders sit in rooms with red phones and encrypted lines, knowing that a single decision could change history. The human factor remains the most unpredictable element of all. No machine, no missile, no algorithm can replace the choices made by men and women in positions of power. Looking ahead to 2025 and beyond, the competition will intensify. America will continue to expand its alliances, strengthening ties with NATO and reaching into the Indo-Pacific to counter new rivals. Russia will focus on resilience, adapting to sanctions, building stronger ties with nations that oppose Western dominance, and leveraging its energy resources as tools of power. The clash is not only military but economic, political, and cultural. It is a struggle over who defines the rules of the global order. For Europe and America, this struggle is a reminder that peace is never guaranteed. The freedom to live without fear, to walk through cities without the shadow of conflict, comes from a balance of power maintained at great cost. The missiles we see rolling through parades, the jets flying over distant skies, and the submarines hidden beneath oceans are not distant symbols. They are the guardians of a fragile peace that could vanish with a single miscalculation. As we close this journey into the heart of superpower rivalry, remember that every decision matters. The future will not be decided by machines alone but by the courage, wisdom, and responsibility of those who lead. The story of USA versus Russia is the story of humanity standing at a crossroads. One path leads to destruction. The other, to a fragile but possible peace. The question is which path we will choose.